Edo Japan. 1603 to 1868, also known as the Tokugawa period, began after Tokugawa Ieyasu won the Battle of Sekigahara, establishing the Tokugawa shogunate. Hideyoshi Toyotomi had planned for his son to succeed him, but after Hideyoshi's death, a civil war broke out. Tokugawa emerged victorious, replacing the daimyo with trusted vassals and starting the Edo period. Tokugawa secured power, he established and implemented his shogunate system. The shogunate was a hereditary military-run government, with the shogun acting as its head. The shogun being a title given to great generals. However, during this Tokugawa period, this title-sized position was passed down to the family as a dynastic rule, while the emperor, who was meant to be empowered over the shogun in Japan's imperial rule, would be reduced to act merely as a ceremonial figurehead to please the citizens. Once Tokugawa established his shogunate and his power, he moved the capital of Japan to Edo, modern-day Tokyo, where Tokugawa would centralize his power. This would become Japan's most powerful centralized government, with the shogunate holding power over the emperor, daimyo, and foreign and religious affairs. This is also the reason why this period is called the Edo period. The social structure was comprised of 6 classes: the emperor, the shogun, the daimyo, consisting of 3 subclasses, the shinpan, fudai, and tozama, samurai, peasants, and lastly merchants. The emperor held no power in the military dictatorship of the shogunate. The shogun would replace the emperor for ruling. Daimyo were feudal lords, ruling over domains with their own military, laws, and sometimes currency. There were 3 classes of daimyo: shinpan, direct relatives of Tokugawa; fudai, trusted allies promoted to daimyo; and tozama, warlords who surrendered to the shogunate. Each daimyo commanded a private army of samurai living in their domain. This period in Japan was considered a golden age for Japanese culture. With the borders of Japan sealed, Japan's culture rose without outside influence, some traditions being tea ceremony, woodblock printing, the kabukai, and no theater. In 1853, Commodore Matthew Perry's American ships arrived in Japan, threatening force if Japan didn't open trade. This imposed trade caused economic issues. Despite disapproval from many citizens and the emperor, the shogun agreed out of fear of Western power, leading to more ports opening for Western trade. This eventually led to a civil war where the imperialists, including the emperor and the Choshu and Satsuma domains, fought to restore the emperor's power. On January 27, 1868, the shogunate sent over 15,000 traditional samurai troops to attack the imperial palace. Over 2 days, the Sacho alliance fended the attack using modern weapons like rifles, howitzer cannons, and Gatling guns. Subsequent battles had similar outcomes, with the imperial forces' modernized weapons prevailing over the shogun's traditional methods. By 1868, after many domains defected to the imperial side, the capital was captured, and the Tokugawa shogunate removed, beginning the Meiji Restoration. Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Tokugawa shogunate, was a leader and general who reunified Japan after a civil war into the Tokugawa period, otherwise known as the Edo period. Tokugawa Tsuneyoshi, the 5th emperor of the Tokugawa dynasty, known as the Dog Shogun, used teachings of Chinese philosopher Zhu Qi, put his efforts to protect the lives of sentient beings, most famously known for decreeing for dogs, but also pregnant women and young children. Matsuo Basho. Due to Japan closing its borders, Japanese culture flourished. Basho is a poet who studied Chinese poetry and Taoism. He was extremely influential in making poems in a style that would later be called haiku. Katsushika Hokusai, the artist of the famous painting, The Great Waves off Kanagawa. Hokusai was a painter and printmaker who introduced ideas of Japanese printmaking to the Europeans. End of the Edo period. After the Boshin War ended with an imperial victory in 1868, Emperor Meiji and the imperial court took power. The emperor initiated the Meiji Restoration, a period of political, social, and economic reforms. The imperial court moved to Edo, the former shogunate power center. In 1871, the feudal social system was abolished. Class divides and special privileges were removed. The daimyo's domains were replaced with prefectures. The emperor's reforms were guided by the Charter Oath of Five Principles, aiming to modernize and westernize Japan's parliament.